What's going on, guys? Dottz Gaming here, and today I'm bringing you an updated Magicka Sorcerer PvP build for the Elder Scrolls Online Dragonhold patch. So this will be a big update to my Magister build. It's taken me like 3 hours to make this build video, man. I've been crashing all morning. You're gonna even see I crash in the gameplay footage at the end, but I have been able to log in enough to test and play a new MagSorc build, and I've been having a blast with it, man. I've been having so much fun. So I tried the old version that I thought would have worked in Dragonhold. You know, I really tried it and tested it, and was not working nearly as well as it was last patch. Let me tell you, the sustain for some reason feels noticeably worse. I think a huge portion of that is because I relied a lot on the degeneration light attack weaving, because I mean that's like 100 Magicka back every time you light attack. That's a pretty good amount. And so with that being gone, and just with the way that the game has kind of changed and how sustain has become this patch, I was noticing that the build really had a lot of problems with sustain. And honestly, especially because damage across the board went down going into Dragonhold. So I was like, you know what? It's time to take off the training wheels. No more just, you know, tanky build. We're going to go into like a more normal MagSorc build, and this is what I came up with, and it has been an absolute blast. The gameplay footage you're going to see at the end of this video, we clapped, kids. We hit them really, really hard. This build hits hard as shit. As you can see, 45k Magicka, 19k spell damage, or excuse me, 1900 spell damage. We have so much damage on this build. It's really, really fun. I'm really enjoying it, and this is what I've been using, though, what I've been liking, what's been working for me. If you would use or run something else, go right ahead, but this is what I've been finding good success with, and I've been enjoying it an absolute ton. Now, I'm going to address the elephant in the room first, and that is going to be my monster set, and that is Pirate Skeleton. So, Pirate Skeleton, for those of you who don't know, gives a line of armor, and when you take damage to your health, you have an 8% chance to transform into a skeleton to gain major protection and major defile for 10 seconds, reducing your damage taken, but also reducing your health recovery and healing received both by 30%. So, Pirate Skeleton was nerfed really hard a couple patches ago, where that basically the major defile used to be a minor defile, and instead of it being for the 20-second cooldown, it was like a 12-second cooldown. It was really, really low. It was like you could have like an 80% uptime on Pirate Skeleton. Now it's 50%. Now, with that being said, I still believe that MagSorc is one of the very few classes, if not, like, honestly, like, one of the only classes left, in my opinion, that can really take good advantage of Pirate Skeleton, because the healing is not the primary method of defense on a MagSorc build. It is your damage shields, and Major Defile does not affect your damage shields. So we can still defend ourselves very reliably, even with Pirate Skeleton, and that Major Protection will help us and keep us really tanky and keep our shields tough. Also, that one line of nearly 3k armor I find to be very, very valuable to both my physical and magical resistance, and I notice it quite a bit. So I really like Pirate Skeleton. I've been playing with a bunch of different monster sets, and to me, Pirate Skeleton, ironically enough, was one of my favorites. If you don't like Pirate Skeleton, I know a lot of people are anti-Pirate Skeleton now. I would just use Bloodspawn here. Bloodspawn is, you know, tried and true, good on every build, but I wanted to really give the Pirate Skeleton a good try on the MagSorc, and honestly, I really like it. I really, really like it. So this is where our tankiness in the build comes from, is from this two-piece set. Otherwise, we have a damage set and a sustain set, and our damage set's going to be Crafty Alfiq with just 5 straight lines of maximum Magicka. We're playing a Magicka Sorcerer, non-pet, so I want to go for the highest Magicka damaging option that I could possibly get, and that is going to be Crafty Alfiq. It just gives us a ton of Magicka, helps our damage, helps our shield sizes, but importantly, helps our healing. It's just a really, really good 5-piece set. And then our other 5 piece is actually going to be 5 pieces of Seducer, 2 lines of magic recovery, a line of maximum Magicka, and reduce the cost of your Magicka abilities by 10%. I found this to be very, very important for my sustain. I found MagSorc sustain to feel a little tough this patch, personally, and putting Seducer on with the light armor made it so that I only needed to run like 1600 recovery, and I feel perfectly fine for sustain even in no CP. So I really, really like Seducer as a sustain set. It's really, really enjoyable to use. I have had no Magicka problems. I mean, maybe, yeah, I have to do a resto heavy every now and then, but it's very rare, and the Seducer really, really helps with that. So in terms of weights and everything, though, and how we have this all set up, we are running a 5-1-1. We have 1 heavy, 1 medium, and 5 light. Everything is impen, and we have 4 Magicka enchants on the little pieces and prismatics on all the big pieces. We are also running triple arcane on our jewelry, 1 spell damage, and 2 Magicka recovery. And then for our front bar, we are using an infused shock enchant to help with that minor vulnerability uptime. Plus, we are a MagSorc, so the shock damage deals big old damage. And then we also have an absorb Magicka enchant on our back bar on a defending resto staff, just to kind of help make sure our sustain is totally topped off. Really don't need the berserker glyph on this build because this isn't a spell damage focused build. This is a Magicka focused build. So I'd rather personally have the better superior sustain and have an infused shock glyph to proc that damage, get that minor vulnerability up, then have the berserker glyph anywhere. So that is how I have my gear set up. In terms of our skills, the skills are very similar to last patch. There's just like maybe 1 or 2 differences. Force Pulse is going to be our spammable. Really not into elemental weapon. It's just not my jam. So we are using Force Pulse instead. Deals 3k flame, shock, and frost damage, and then also does some splash damage. We also get some pen from the Destro Staff passives. So I really do like Force Pulse as my spammable. You can use Elemental Weapon if you'd like, and then maybe instead of the Atronach, you can use Overload to get those to proc at the exact same time. But I prefer Force Pulse and the Atronach personally. We're using Crystal Fragments as our primary burst, so we deal 13k magic damage, and then casting any other magic ability has a 35% chance of causing your next Crystal Frags to deal 33% more damage and cost 50% less. This is our primary burst driver, along with our Haunting Curse, with a 12.5k magic tick on the target, as well as 5.5k to all targets nearby. So getting your Haunting Curse and Crystal Frags to go off at the exact same time is going to put massive pressure onto your opponent. This also will explode 8.5 seconds later for a second duration, opening another burst window to you. We have Degeneration as the primary dot for the build, as well as our source of major sorcery. Not much to say about it. Increases our Magicka front bar, increases our sustain front bar via the major skill passives. So I do like Degeneration still on my MagSorc. If you don't want to run degen, though, you can feel free to run PvE spell power pots and use Mage's Fury instead. So you can use that instead if you would like. But I personally do like having the 1 singular dot on the build, plus the Mage's Skill passives, like I said. So I still do enjoy degen personally. We use Streak as our movement skill, as well as our primary stun. So Streak is just such a good stun, man. It really is so damn good. When you streak through people, it can't be dodged, can't be blocked. Or it can be like people can try to dodge, but there's no way. They're just gonna go right through you. This effect can't be blocked. So you're going to just be able to stun mass amounts of enemies while giving yourself tons of movement. So you have 3 guys in front of you, right, that you want to stun. You just streak through, turn around, and bam, you're instantly peppering them with damage. It's really, really strong skill, and I have not found a need for another stun on the build. Streak is perfectly fine. I'm using the Greater Storm Atronach now as my primary damage ultimate. I figured that way, because I'm not using Elemental Weapon, it's probably better to use the Atro, and I do really, really like it. It deals about 9k damage instantaneously when it hits the ground and stuns all enemies for 3 seconds, and then the Atronach deals about 4,100 shock damage every second, as well as giving a major Berserk synergy to any nearby allies. Just a really good skill, man. It deals a lot of damage, AoE stun, gives you a body that you can LOS around. It is just an incredibly good ultimate. I've really liked this. I was liking Overload. It was fun, but I think I really do prefer the AoE ultimate for when I'm playing like solo and stuff. If you don't want to use the Atronach, you could also feel free to use Meteor. Meteor is really, really good shooting star, would be an amazing slot here, but I do really like the Atronach a lot. I think the Atronach's also a bit cheaper too. I know they're the exact same. Duh. Still, I do really like the Atronach. It's really, really good. Deals a ton of damage, like I said. It's just an amazing skill. It's just an amazing skill. I do like it. Back bar. We have Hardened Ward and Dampened Magic as our shield stack. So it's basically just 2 damage shields. That's why we got them. We're going to our shield stack Sorc. Combos well with Pirate Skeleton because our main driver of our defense is damage shields, not healing. So this works well. We also have Rapid Regen as our primary heal. This shit is so strong. 18.3k heal over 5 seconds. 2k Magicka. Makes my Vigor tooltips look like nothing, man. This skill is so strong. Primary heal of the build. You just overlay your shields, Rapid Regen underneath it, and bam, you're getting healed up. We have Boundless Storm as our major Expedition buff, as well as our major Resolve buff. Also deals a little bit of AoE damage around us, so it deals 800 damage around us every second for 22 seconds. I like Boundless Storm. I know some people run Shudan and don't like Boundless Storm, which you can do on this and run Mage's Fury instead. But, I mean, look at this, man. This thing just looks so cool. I just absolutely love using the skill. I like the Major Expedition. I like the appearance of the skill. It's really good, and I like it a lot. We also have Dark Conversion, so it basically turns our stamina into health and magicka. It's just good for sustain. We have a very big stamina pool on this build, which I'll go over the stats in a hot second. So we can use this pretty liberally. So I do really like Dark Conversion for the sustain. Back bar, this is not the ultimate I want to use. I don't have my Resto Staff at 50 yet, so you want to use the Resto Staff ult in the back bar. If you don't have it, then you can use Negate temporarily. Use the Absorption Field morph. And when you eventually get Life Giver, you'll obviously have Rapid Regen, and then you want to go for Combat Prayer and Healing Ward, because when you cast Life Giver, it does cast the morph forms of those skills. So Life Giver is going to be your primary backbar ultimate, but you can use Absorption Fields for either group play, or if you don't quite have Life Giver yet. Now, in terms of the miscellaneous things on the build, we are running the Mage Mundus, and we are using Tri-Stat Food. The Tri-Stat Food gives us that big, nearly 17k maximum stam, as well as 18.7k health outside of Cyrodiil, which I believe transfers to about over 25k inside of Cyrodiil. So being able to run Tri-Stat Food is really important for me. That was always kind of one of the big issues I had with my MagSorc, was trying to get a respectable amount of stamina, and running a set like Seducer plus running those 2 Magicka recovery glyphs and baking my damage into my Magicka pool basically allowed me to get a nice big stamina pool as well. So I do really like doing that. So our stats, like I said, we're at 45k maximum Magicka. We already went over the health and stam. 1600 recovery, 1900 spell damage, 29% spell critical, but we do use spell crit pot, so that will obviously go up by quite a lot. So we get Major Prophecy, Restore Health, and Restore Magicka. 14k unbuff spell resist and 12k unbuff physical resist with 3k crit resist. In terms of your race, you're going to want to be either High Elf or Dunmer. It's really up to you. Personal preference. High Elf has better stamina sustain, but Dunmer has a larger stamina pool. So it depends which one you want to use. I went High Elf because, you know, I went with the full MagSorc stereotype, dude. AD, High Elf's my only AD tune. So one of those 2 races, though, would definitely be your best bet. In terms of champion points, we're looking at 19 into Blessed, 56 into Elfborn, 64 into Ellie Expert, 50 into Spell Erosion, 81 into Master at Arms, 66 into Ironclad, 50 into Resistant, 37 into Thick Skin, 43 into Hardy and Ellie Defender, as well as 31 into Bastion. We don't really go too heavy into Quick Recovery because we're wearing Pirate Skeleton. I'd rather kind of put more of my points into Bastion and increase the effectiveness of my shield, since they won't be dampened by that Defile. 19 into Sprinter, 66 into Warlord, 75 into Arcanist, 43 into Tenacity for those thick resto heavies, 51 into Tumbling, and 16 into Shadow Ward. Rotation's pretty straightforward. Defensively, obviously you want to make sure that you keep your Boundless up at all times. You want to just use your shields. Use your damage shields, rapid regen, streak around. That is how you play this build defensively. Very, very straightforward defense. Do not be afraid to use an abuse streak. If you try to just sit there and tank out people with your damage shields, tank out people with your heals, you're going to have a bad time and you're going to drain your Magicka pool. So use this streak mobility to your advantage. Very few classes can keep up with that. Offensively, basically your combo is relatively simple. You apply degen to your opponents from your Dot and Major Sorcery. You apply Haunting Curse and then just start Force Pulsing. When your Haunting Curse is about to go off, you go into a streak, turn around and hit your opponent with the Crystal Frag. The Crystal Frag and the Haunted Curse will go off at the same time. Make sure you light attack weave as well. So all those things will be hitting at the same time, causing a massive burst damage to your opponent. If you have your ultimate up, instead of streak, use Atronach there. Otherwise, if you keep everything maintained, just light attack weave force pulse to try to get those Crystal Frag procs. That's basically it, man. Magister MagSorc, updated for Dragonhold. In my opinion, this build is way better than the one I made last patch. Last patch, that was like a very beginner MagSorc build. I didn't really know what I was doing in the class yet. I was not comfortable with the MagSorc playstyle, so I made something to kind of ease my way into the class. But now that I've been playing it more and more, I went for like a more, I guess you could say, stereotypical kind of a build. And it is so powerful. I absolutely love it. Big damage, good movement, good sustain, good defense. This is just a very, very well-rounded build for CP, no CP, dueling. So no matter what you're looking for, the new Magister MagSorc build will be able to suit your needs. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please slap a like on it. Any questions, leave them below. And for more great gaming content, hit that sub button as well as the bell to keep notifications on. So enjoy the build video footage, guys. Like I said, the game did crash halfway through, so there's only a couple minutes. I think it's like 6 minutes or something. But still, it showcases the build really, really well. I think I got like 12 kills in that short period period of time, so it shows the offensive power of the build. So I think it was 12 kills. I'm not entirely sure. I might be thinking of a different game. I don't know. I've been doing BGs all morning trying to get footage. So anyway, thank you for watching. Appreciate it very much. I'll see you all in the next one. Did I seriously just fucking crash? Are you fucking kidding me? Well, it was a good demonstration of the build. Unfortunately, I guess we're not gonna get to fucking finish the game. I want to keep this in, honestly, just to, like, show the state of things. I've been trying to make this build video for 2 hours, and literally, I just can't get a game in that doesn't crash. Well, I guess that's that, friends. As you can see, the build works, and the build works well. It's a lot of fun when the game decides it wants to play. So I hope you guys enjoyed the build video, enjoyed the little showcase here. And there we go. There's the crash. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the build video. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all next time.